Hello, Acolyte enjoyers. How does it feel? How does it feel? Something that you thought was really cool is now getting trashed and demolished from existence because it's so bad. How do you feel? Because that's how I felt. The difference here is that what I like was actually good. Once upon a time, there was a little guy, and his name was Boba Fett, and he had a backstory that was so cool and mysterious, and it all existed before May 16th, 2002. 1995 Star Wars Essential Guide to Characters drops! Written by a guy called Andy Mangels? I don't know how to say his name. I don't think George had any involvement with it, but the entirety of Empire Strikes Back was directed by not George Lucas, and it's the best Star Wars movie to exist. So not everything has to be handcrafted by George for it to be given a pass, okay guys? The movies were made by multiple different creative minds. Grow up! Here's the full character page on him. Pause and read it, or don't, I don't know. November 1996. Tales of the Bounty Hunters drops! Again, not written by Lucas, but it's still amazing. It's what the teens would call... what do they call it? A sleigh? Again, mentions more of his backstory and how he is not a clone. There's some other books and comics that came out before the garbage fire of 1999, but of course people try to write it out of history or come up with some convoluted way to explain that Boba Fett was just lying about his past. The thing that makes me most irate is that they made an entirely new character with his actual real original name. They made a new guy called Jaster Muriel. Why? He already existed. It's Boba Fett's old identity. What was the purpose of this? I want everyone to understand that you don't need to make some roundabout explanation for this stuff. Everyone's like, oh, he just made up that silly little story, but he actually stole it from the real Jaster Muriel just to throw people off. It's like the Joker, because the Joker always tells a different backstory every time, and the Joker is cool. You guys, Star Wars is not real. It is not actual history. Stop trying to make excuses for these people. They had a story for the character already, and then they changed it because they don't care about making things cool. They want to just make cringe, and that's it. I seriously can't think of anything that's more offensive than the fact that they just outright made an entirely new character, but they took his old name and they just made it someone else. Are you insane? George was in such a haze during the making of all the prequels. I don't even know why people like it. Oh wait, I do actually. It's mainly women and men who are in denial or have nostalgia. The women are obsessed with Hayden Christensen. Is that how you pronounce his last name? I will not call him Anakin because I have seen Anakin and that is not him. Hayden Christensen in the prequels was forced to play the role of Mr. I walked so that Kylo Ren could run. I didn't grow up on any Star Wars content at all. My dad said I was too little to enjoy it, so I never got around to watching it. Also, I'm a girl. I was watching Barbie Fairytopia. But watching everything with an unbiased view and fresh eyes, I cannot connect prequels creature to original trilogy Darth Vader. And that's not a skill issue for me, it's just the fact that it doesn't line up. It's called George Lucas lost the plot. He wanted to cast a young, attractive guy instead of some foreboding man who was already in his 30s or 40s, which would have made more sense. Prequels Anakin is not intimidating. He's just like softcore emo. He's like Human Shadow the Hedgehog. This is why so many women like the prequels, but it does confuse me still. Are Han Solo and Luke Skywalker not attractive? They look more mature than prequels Anakin, which is another thing that throws me off because the whole Star Wars saga tries to act like these characters look like they come after these characters, and they don't. Luke looks like he would be Anakin's dad, probably the result of people actually shooting on film, and the fact that as time goes on, men and women begin to swap hormones and we start to see the degradation of society. I'm going off script now. I keep seeing these posts on Tumblr and they're very upset. They're like, just watch just watch, George Lucas is gonna act like the Acolyte never existed. And it's like, good, because you know what? This has been happening to me. The difference is that the stuff that I liked and that they're pretending doesn't exist is actually good. It's actually good, guys. How does it feel, Acolyte fans? How does it feel? All your enjoyment is down the drain. It never existed. Do you feel the rue? Can you feel it? The ruing is coming for you. Go read, go look at the Essential Guide to Characters, the one that came out in 1995. Go read Tales of the Bounty Hunters from 1996. Go read the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy that came out, I don't remember what year, but it was before 2002. The dreaded day, May 16th, 2002. Go read the Twin Engines of Destruction comic. Go read, there's a couple of other comics, but I can't remember what they're called right now because I just would love to know how it feels to be an Acolyte fan, because I cannot relate. I did not watch the show. I will not watch the show. It doesn't look like Star Wars. Star Wars was supposed to be... It's not even sci-fi, and this is the thing. Like, I'm not a sci-fi person, but I am a space fantasy person, and that's what Star Wars was more like in the original trilogy. The director of Empire Strikes Back was like, this isn't sci-fi, this is space fantasy. And it's like, that's so real and that's so true, because 100% space fantasy is way more fun than sci-fi. All the people who like Star Wars, like modern Star Wars, can you guys just get into Star Trek and leave Star Wars alone? Can you get into Star Trek and leave Star Wars alone? And then people are like, well, news flash. The original trilogy still exists, so why don't you just go watch that and be quiet? It's like, because you guys ruin everything. It's like, I can't even have Disney World. I can't even go to Disney and get some cool, like, Boba Fett merch. Because you know what? It's just him in his little black dress that he wears. And he's like 700 pounds. I don't understand. Okay, wait, that sounded really mean. I am not fat shaming, okay? The problem is that he didn't look like that. He's not supposed to look like that. My dude was in the Sarlacc pit. He was getting digested. How did he gain weight? How did he gain weight after, like, starving? In, like, I don't... You know what? I'm done. Final question, answer it now. How does it feel, Acolyte fans, to be in my position? It hurts, doesn't it?